Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and oh my gosh, 56 spoilers from Duskmourn, are you crazy? Well, I'm going to try my best, a lot of them are land cycle. Speaking of that, Peculiar Lighthouse. Now this is interesting. It enters tapped unless a player has 13 or less life, in which case it enters untapped. Well, they're going to have to rename the late lands because these are the extremely late lands. If you went this long in a draft without color fixing, one, how did you get him to 13, and two, you've already lost. Although if all you have to do is wait one turn, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I don't see a ton of people using these in Constructed, but we did just have a rotation, and they printed all 10 of them right away, so you never know. Next up, we got Glimmer Seeker. It's a 3-cost 3/3 creature human survivor. It has survival at the beginning of your second main phase if Glimmer Seeker is tapped. Draw a card if you control a Glimmer creature. If you don't control one, then create a 1/1 white Glimmer enchantment creature token. Ooh, enchantment ETB and white weenies. Watch out, man, I'm telling ya. It's gonna get rough. Not as bad as like 3 years ago white-green enchantments, but rough. I think white weenies is winning so far, though. Next up, another Fear from the Fear cycle. This is uncommon, which strongly suggests that there's going to be more than 5 of them. So we got Fear of Isolation. Yeah, if you're a blue player, you're not going to have many friends, so they really nailed it there. It's a 2-cost 2/3. And flying. Ooh. As an additional cost to cast this spell, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. That is not optional. Who needs friends when you got flying? I'm not sure that really comes together. But next up, we got Fear of Failed Tests. Boy, somebody just went to Google and typed in like top 50 fears. And then when they found out that 1 through 10 are just liberals, they just kept scrolling, and this is what they landed on. So it's a 5-cost 2/7. And if it deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. Ooh. Wouldn't this be like fear of getting your stuff stolen? Am I just missing it? I thought about this for a good long while. I don't see what any of this has to do with taking a test. I guess if you fail to hit them, it fails to do anything? I don't know, dude. Next up, Unwilling Vessel. It's a 3-cost 3/2. See, should have used your Ghost Repellent. Creature human wizard with vigilance and epic hair. So it also has Eerie, and here's the problem. So whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, put a possession counter on Unwilling Vessel. Why does that not say or? Like, official Oracle text says, one condition or another condition. Either condition triggers it. Why is the word and there? It makes it sound like you need both to be true, which is not true. I actually read the equally poorly written description from their own article. Eerie abilities are triggered abilities that trigger when an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room. Once again, or. Just use the word or. The first trigger condition means an eerie ability can potentially trigger twice thanks to a single room card. Once when it enters the battlefield, and again when it becomes fully unlocked. Okay, so that in a roundabout way explains it, but I'd love the explanation for why it doesn't say the word or. It can't just be me, right? Leave a comment. Condition 1 or condition 2. And you don't need an and to signify that it can like violate once per turn or like I have been through this over and over in my mind. There's no reason for it other than they got it wrong. Or I'm missing something, but I very much doubt that. So it also says when Unwilling Vessel dies, create an XX blue spirit creature token with flying where X is the number of counters on Unwilling Vessel. So combined counters of all types? What if you put a regular counter and a possession counter on it? And in fact, without saying counter of all type, although I thought they used to use a capital C, they've waffled on this so many times over the last 10 years, it is really aggravating. But like, the last I heard was when they use the word counters alone, it only refers to +1/+1 counters, and then they expanded that to -1 counters. When they invented like lifelink counters, they may have changed it, and I just didn't read the rule, but like, this whole card is a complete and utter train wreck. So let's move on. Patched Plaything. It's a 3-cost 4/3 with double strike. Hello. But it enters with 2 -1/-1 counters on it if you cast it from your hand. So it's more powerful if you resurrect it. Dude, white-black's going to be out of control. Next up, we got Smoky Lounge and Misty Salon. Oh boy. So Smoky Lounge is 1 red plus generic 2. At the beginning of your first main phase, add 2 red mana to your mana pool. Spend this only to cast room spells and unlock doors. Probably the first one you'll do, unless you're color screwed. Please tell me 5-color doors isn't going to be a thing, but, destroy all enchantments is also a thing. Actually, did that rotate out? Oh boy. Anyway, if you pay 1 blue plus 3 generic, when you unlock this door, create an XX blue spirit creature token with flying, where X is the number of unlocked doors among rooms you control. And I assume each room can have 2. Hey, if you were to resurrect this from the graveyard, does it auto-unlock one side? My guess is no, because it says you may cast either half and then it unlocks. Well, I think if you drop it into the battlefield without casting, you have nothing unlocked. Kinda seems like there's room there for an unlock trigger exploit. Well, anyway, next up we got Mirror Room and Fractured Realm. Ooh. So for 3, you get, when you unlock this door, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it's a reflection in addition to its other creature types. Pretty darn powerful for 3. And then if you could put another 7 into it, or if that's how you cast it the first time for some reason, if a triggered ability of a permanent you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Oh, so if you did do 7 first and then you unlocked 3, you would get 2 triggers. Oh, that would be interesting. Well, I guess they didn't learn from Panharmonicon. I guess we get to do that again. Wonderful. Next up, Undead Sprinter. They're not allowed to do that. You're breaking the rules. Zombies are supposed to be slow. What the hell? Anyway, 1 black, 1 red, 2/2, trample haste, and it's a rare. Oh god. You may cast Undead Sprinter from your graveyard. Who didn't see that coming? If a non-zombie creature died this turn. Okay. If you do, Undead Sprinter enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. Ooh. Then we've got Infernal Phantom. It's a 4-cost 2/3. Creature Spirit with Eerie. When an enchantment you control enters, or whenever... I'm just going to correct it on the fly. Or whenever you fully unlock a room, in either case as separate triggers, this card gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. I am so sick of that effect, but at least they put it on a 4-cost this time. Next up, might as well put it in. Here's a bunch of special guests. They're all reprints, so, welcome to the mini masterpiece set. Extra sheet, whatever you want to call it. I call it Draft Ruining Nightmare. We've got Noxious Revival, Unholy Heat, Sacrifice, Phantasmal Image, nice, Expropriate, Soul Warden, Hallowed Haunting, and Maddening Hex. I'm sure none of them will have a distinct effect on Limited. Oh wait, no, the opposite, they will. Then we've got this unreadable atrocity from Pokemon. It's Overlord of the Boiler Bilge, maybe? It's 6 with double red in there, enchantment creature avatar horror, oh great, and impending 4, so you can start counting. 4 turns from now you'll have it, for only 4 instead of 6. And when it enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target. Oh, every time it attacks? Told you, they really ramped the power level up with this set. It was looking pretty good, but we already saw some cards that were very concerning like 3 months ago. So, next up, Fanatic of Harrowing. It's a 4-cost 2/2, and when it enters, each player discards a card. That includes you. If you discarded a card this way, draw a card. You know what's weird? I can't name one other card that does that exact effect, but I feel like they should have printed it 20 years ago. It's kind of weird. Next up, Clockwork Percussionist. Heck yeah, it's supposed to be a monkey with symbols. Was that just copyrighted? I don't know. How could they have screwed that up after playing Fallout 4? Come on. So it's a 1-cost 1/1 monkey toy, artifact creature, with haste, and when it dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next turn. No, don't encourage red. Especially Red Rush in a slow set with a slow build-up over time. Oh, I've got a bunch of enchantments and they're going to do something eventually. If you just run the person over on turn 4, nobody can even play this stupid set. But no, gotta make red do red things. Speaking of that, turn Inside Out. It's a 1-cost red instant. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. When it dies this turn, that's awfully pessimistic. If it dies this turn, Manifest Dread, which means look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature, and the other into your graveyard. Turn it face up at any time for its mana cost, but only if it's a creature card. Next up, Grasping Longneck. It's a 3-cost, 4/2 in green. Hello, enchantment creature horror. Okay, there's nothing other than enchantments in this whole set, apparently. It has reach. Oh, nice. And whenever Grasping Longneck dies, you gain 2 life. Oh, anti-flying going hardcore in this one, and this is in the common slot. Do not even try to draft flying, especially, I think, in the set, it doesn't have much flying because, I don't know, ceilings, I guess. I don't know, I just haven't seen many. Yeah, I ain't gonna work this time around, not in Quick Draft when everybody's going for this one as a first pick. Next up, Piranha Fly. Hey, good timing. It's a 2/1. I mean, there are insects in this set, but like, you ain't gonna find birds, you know what I mean? So it's 2-cost, flying creature, Piranha Fly enters tapped. I mean, solid creature, but like, you ain't getting past anybody. Next up, Stay Hidden, Stay Silent. It's a 2-cost blue aura, uncommon, enchant creature, and when it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and then it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. However, if you pay 6, shuffle this creature into the owner's library, then manifest Dread. From your library or theirs? I assume yours, because they didn't specify, but activate only at sorcery speed. I thought it was going to let them pay 6 to untap it like Singing Bell Strike. So that makes this a better Singing Bell Strike. Holy crap. And I'll be honest with you, they're going a little hard with the enchantments, just a little bit. There are white cards in Standard right now that really care about the number of enchantments. This whole set is about to completely and utterly ruin Standard. They're probably going to have to go back and ban a couple of those from Wilds of Eldraine. Anyway, next up we got Shepherding Spirits. I ain't going nowhere with them. I don't trust them. So 6 cost, double white, 4/5 flying. Plane Cycling 2. Oh, they're bringing that back. Holy crap. So if you pay 2, discard this card, search your library for only a Planes card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Now, anything that has the word Planes on it, or, well, in the type line, you can go get it. So if you had a Mountain Plains, you could go get it. So it's not quite basic land fetched, but it's a little narrow. Next up, Acrobatic Cheerleader. It's oh, here we go. 2 cost, 2/2. What is a cheerleader doing here? They're half serious and half not. I just really want to know. After what has to be years, if not decades, when they turned the entire plane into one giant haunted house, there's still teenagers in cheerleader outfits from their school. Why? How? So many questions. So survival, which honestly I hope she doesn't. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Acrobatic Cheerleader is tapped, put a flying counter on it, because that makes sense. This ability triggers only once. This is just stupid. Could they have just not with that one card? Then we got like Slavering Branch Snapper. Okay, that's a little more serious. It's a 6 cost, 7/6 with trample, 4 cycling. So you get it in your opening hand, it's not an automatic mulligan. A little bit of early game value. I like it. Next up, Tyvek House Wrap is here. They spelled it Tyvar for some reason. That's they'll have to redo that. But Mr. House Wrap here is a 3 cost double green 3/3 legendary creature, Elf Warrior, and tap another untapped creature you control. Tyvek House Wrap gains indestructible until end of turn. Makes sense. That stuff is tough as hell. That's why you wrap houses in it, and then also tap it. That is insanely annoying. And then if you pay 5, creatures you control get +X/+X till end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Well, here's the first $30 card. This would fit into every single green deck ever. I mean, you don't give them trample, and there's more powerful stuff than this in Eternal, but damn, this is powerful. I mean, he just doesn't go away. He could soak up anything. If your opponent doesn't have trample, you're good. I was about to say, if this is under $10, I am right now pre-ordering 8 copies of it. I don't care what anybody says. I checked Card Kingdom. 1, $5.99. Are you out of your damn minds? It's an elf, for God's sake. And 2, out of stock. Yeah, okay. We'll see what you really priced it at when you actually decide to sell it. Something's a little sus, and it's not the house. Next up, Leyline of the Void for some reason. Why not? Standard legal, main set. Okay, 4 costs. If it's in your opening hand, you guys know what it does. You may begin the game with it on the battlefield. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Very narrow, very specific. They've reprinted it to the point where it's about a $3 card. It used to actually be, I think, like 10 to 15 back in the original Masters 3 sets. And this is so specific, I don't really see it doing much other than like being a sideboard card, and nobody sideboards anymore. 1, because nobody plays Standard, and 2, because if they do, they play it in Best of 1 on Arena. So not real disruptive. What I'm worried about is where there's smoke, there's fire, and 1 ley line equals smoke. Do I need to remind you what the others do? I'm a little concerned. Hey, speaking of that, next up, Meat Hook Massacre 2. Okay, they just made it unplayable this time, I guess. That's a strategy. Quad black, just like Obliterator, which should have been banned, +X/+X. So, when it enters, each player sacrifices X creatures. That includes you. This is a legendary enchantment, though. Whenever a creature you control dies, you may pay 3 life. If you do, return that card under your control to the battlefield, I guess it should have said, but they ran out of space, with a finality counter on it. That's the next time it dies, exile it. So that's a little spicy for 4. But wait, there's more. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, they may pay 3 life. If they don't, then you get that card resurrected to the battlefield on your side with a finality counter on it. Okay, black control plus sweepers. Forget about white. White's dead. White Weenies, White Rabbit Rush, hybrid between the two, completely DOA because of this card. Plus Liliana, plus Obliterator, plus, what's the other one? Spectre or whatever that sweeps -2s. Just look at my deck. Just go under the deck playlist and scroll down to the second latest one. I mean, that entire deck is the reason why this is going to be a little OP. This is going straight into my deck. Next up, Ethereal Armor. I'm surprised that comes in feminist sizes, but I guess it's ethereal. It can do whatever it wants. So it's 1-cost white enchantment aura. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike. Holy shit, that's overpowered. And if you were ever able to keep one single creature on the battlefield against current mono black, this would be a big threat. But you're not going to be able to. Yep, fat thunder-thighed feminist artwork, and they make it the most powerful card ever printed in the history of the game. Gee. I wonder why. Next up, say its name. It's a 2-cost green sorcery. Mill 3 cards, then you may return a creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand, exile this card, and 2 other cards named Say Its Name from your graveyard. Search your graveyard, hand, and or library for a card named Altanak the Thrice Called. Okay, so Bloody Mary reference because they can't think of their own stuff. And put it onto the battlefield if you search your library this way. Shuffle, activate only as a sorcery. Well, you can only run 4 of them. So, like, what the hell's the point? Well, here's Altanak, the Thrice Called. It's a 7-cost 9/9. Hello. Legendary creature, insect beast, trample. Because, of course, and when it becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, draw a card. And then if you pay 2, discard him and return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So, land ramp's going in a weird direction with Say Its Name in this. I'm not sure I'd bother in my landfall deck, really. Next up, Victor Velgavoth's Seneschal. What the hell is even that? Okay, apparently it's Seneschal, which suggests it's British and not Yiddish. Wouldn't have been my guess, but an officer having full charge of domestic arrangements, ceremonies, the administration of justice, etc., in the household of a medieval prince or dignitary, comma, steward. Okay, yeah, we got it. You went on a website, now you can marry people, and you're putting ads on Craigslist. Gotcha. All right, Victor, you do you. Legendary creature, human warlock, 3/3 with Eerie. I'm sure he got that warlock degree from a very respectable college. When an enchantment you control enters, or whenever you fully unlock a room, surveil 2. If this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn. If it's the second time, each opponent discards a card. If it's the third time, put a creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Oh, that's kind of spicy. Okay. It's not the easiest thing to do, and if you pull it off, you know, cool. That's not bad. Then we got Nico, Light of Hope, who's here for some reason instead of in therapy, which is really where they belong, but, okay. 4-cost, white-blue. 3/4. When Nico enters, create 2 shard tokens. I already forgot. Good thing they put it there. They're enchantments. That's kind of broken. With pay 2, sack this enchantment, scry 1, then draw a card. Okay. Then pay 2, tap it, exile target non-legendary creature you control. Shards you control become copies of it until the beginning of the next end step. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, so like Balloon Man, but worse. That actually tracks, because Nico is the worst. Well, I don't see another way to bring out more shards other than that stupid frog tribal, which would actually get kind of annoying and broken. Not quite the same colors, though, so I don't know. Well, then we got Ghost Vacuum, because Luigi's Mansion or something. Alright. It's a 1-drop rare artifact and colorless, so they better be careful with this. Tap it, exile target card from a graveyard, or pay 6. Let me guess. Oh, no, that's not what I would have guessed. Okay, sacrifice it. Put each creature card exiled with Ghost Vacuum onto the battlefield under your control with a flying counter on it. Each of them is a 1/1 spirit. Okay, in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. This is interesting. They must be leaning so hard on graveyard mechanics that they needed something to offset it and we just haven't seen it yet. Or they just wanted to take all the graveyard shit in Modern and kick it square in the nuts, which I'm kind of cool with either, actually. I hate, just despise graveyard mechanics. They are so unfair, stupid, and non-interactive. I hate them. Tormod's Crypt for life. Next up, we got Central Elevator or Promising Stairs. So 4 cost on the left, 3 cost on the right. Blue, didn't see that coming. When you unlock this door, search your library for a room card that doesn't have the same name as a room you control. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. They're gonna do a 10 gates and win, aren't they? They're gonna do get out 10 rooms, unlock them all, or unlock 10 total rooms and just win. I know it. You tell me they wouldn't do that. So, Promising Stairs, at the beginning of your upkeep, Surveil 1, you win the... Oh, God, it's on the other side. I didn't even read the damn thing. It's literally on the other side. Nobody's going to believe me. I'm leaving it in. I don't care. It is on the other side of the damn card, guys. I'm losing my shit right now. At the beginning of your upkeep, Surveil 1, you win the game if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors of rooms you control. 4 room permanents, unlock them all, you win. That's some f***ing bullshit right there. Holy shit, I thought it would be a 5-color card. I didn't think it would be on the same damn card that enables it. This is such utter horseshit. Alright, moving on from that alternate win condition pile of shit, we've got Overlord of the Flood Pits. They better put enough enchantment removal in this set to remove half the set, because otherwise this is just Alright, 5 cost mythic. Oh, this is one of the overlords. Cool. 5/3, enchantment creature, avatar, horror, impending 3. That's low. Flying. And when it enters or attacks, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. I think for the impending part, you still get what's written on it because it doesn't say if it is a creature, then this effect goes off. But then when it's a creature, every time it attacks, it does it. So draw 2, discard 1. It's pretty damn good. Next up, Shard Mage's Rescue. 1 cost white enchantment aura, flash, of course, enchant creature you control. As long as Shard Mage's Rescue entered this turn, enchanted creature has hexproof, and then +1/+1. And counts as enchantment ETB, and counts as total enchantment count. Holy shit. And of course, story spotlight with a flick of their wrist, Nico, because Nico can do no wrong and is literally the perfect human being. How dare you say otherwise? Shattered the Wicker Folk. Oh god, we're gonna have a Wicker Man reference in her. And whisked Nashi to safety. Well, isn't that great? I would literally rather be saved by anybody else. Next up, Valgavoth's Faithful. It's a 1 cost 1/1 creature human cleric. You pay 4, you sack it. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Oh, block chump. And then it does a thing late game. That's pretty clever. It's pretty powerful. Then we got Pyroclasm. It's 2 cost red sorcery. It deals 2 damage to each creature. Ah, low sweeper. There goes white weenies. Bye-bye. Now, I thought Pyroclasm was a specifically volcano word. I looked it up on the dictionary, which promptly told me it isn't a word. I guess it's Greek slang, meaning to break with fire. So, there you go. Now you learned something. Next up, Inquisitive Glimmer, aka Super Kite. It's a 1 white, 1 blue, 2/3 enchantment creature, Fox Glimmer, and enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and unlock costs you pay cost 1 less to cast. Oh, that be spicy. And apparently it's not a cat, despite the fact that obviously foxes have long noses and a completely different skull shape. Who the hell drew this? What were they thinking? Next up, Grievous Wound. It's a 5 cost rare black card, really. Enchant Aura and Enchant Player. Enchanted Player can't gain life. Oh, I'm sick of that bullshit, but I mean, for 5. Whenever an Enchanted Player is dealt damage, they lose half their life rounded up. Shouldn't it say, or the damage whichever is higher? Because, like, this actually could be a problem. I mean, if you want to swarm them, but, like, since when does black do that? This is a very unusual card. Next up, Drag to the Roots. It's a 4 cost black green instant with Delirium. It costs 2 less to cast as long as Delirium is going on, and then destroy target non-land permanent. Wow, that's useless in draft and constructed. Next up, Flood Farm Verge. Okay, we're getting into the rare lands. Here we go. So, tap to add 1 white, and tap to add 1 blue, but activate only if you control a plains or an island. They're running out of ideas, aren't they? So you always get white, but you'll get blue as long as you control something other than this, pretty much. but not certain dualies. So like fix your colors, but not too much. Like what the hell is this? I mean, it comes in untapped, so it's not like completely useless, but it's pretty much completely useless. I mean, I would throw it in just to like mislead people if I was running, you know, white plus or mono white, but like, what is this supposed to be? This is just stupid. It's not even a single check or double check land. It's like literally worse than that. It is a couple percentage worse than that mathematically. I don't know what to say about these. And they printed a bunch of them. Well, anyway, Leyline of Resonance. So it's 4 cost, but not really because it's free. Red enchantment. Send it if it's in your opening hand, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single creature you control, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Red doesn't usually do that, but it would be pretty funny to run this in a draft. I mean, white-red ambush, anybody? I still don't have a firm grasp on what this set actually does other than build up slowly with enchantments over time, and then try to just overwhelm people with really, really broken OP cards, which this is going to be a really bad draft environment. I don't know. I'm super turned off to this set after they knocked it out of the park with the first set of spoilers, so I'm kind of pissed. Well, next up, the Swarm Weaver. It's 2 costs, 1 black, 1 green, 2/3 legendary artifact creature Scarecrow. When the Swarm Weaver enters, I'm sure it's one of the Wicker Men. Get it? Create a 1/1 black and green insect creature. The bees. Go watch it. Tokens with flying, we get it. Delirium. Let's see. Insects and spiders you control have +1/+1 have Death Touch. They probably already do, but okay, sure. That's weirdly specific and not really suited for a constructed or draft. It's almost like they know people only play Commander. Next up, Patchwork Beastie. It's a 1 cost 3/3. Hello, Delirium. It can't attack or block unless there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. Well, not with the level of graveyard stripping you got, so Delirium cards are pretty DOA. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill a card. Oh boy. Yeah, neat little gamble card, I guess. I don't think it's too great, but, you know, that's kind of the point. Next up, we got Fear of Imposters. I guess that's probably a real thing, but where are they getting these from? I could name like 50 better fears. How about Fear of Fat Ugly Feminists with purple hair and a severe healthy enemy size obesity problem? I mean, if I don't go by the title and I just go by what they drew, but anyway, it's a double blue 3 cost 3/2 enchantment creature nightmare with flash, and when it enters the battlefield, counter target spell, its controller manifests dread. You know what? I mean, you get a creature out of it, so I wouldn't say it's worse than a cancel, but damn, man. I guess the 3/2 could kill a 2/2, so whatever. Could backfire, though. Next up, Leyline of Transformation. It's a 4 cost blue Leyline. If it's in your opening hand, you put it onto the battlefield. That's how Leylines work. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So it's whenever you cast a Merfolk spell, well, now every single creature is a Merfolk. Here's the problem. You're already playing Merfolk. There's no creatures in your library that aren't Merfolk. So this whole, like, everything becomes tribal makes absolutely 0 sense. Never really understood why they thought anybody would ever play these. They really don't. And, oh, hallelujah, that's the end of it. Only about 200 more to go. So, yeah, this set is... It went from a 8 out of 10 to, like, a 4 out of 10 with the stuff I'm seeing right now. It's going to be so unbalanced. It's going to be undraftable. It's, like, one color combination completely destroys entire colors. This is just bad. It's just bad design. Nothing else to say. I mean, and I was watching, not all of the draft runers are in the rare slot because it wouldn't matter if they were. Well, here's what it is. So, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. What do you think of it now after this? Let me know. I'm very curious, and I'll see you guys next time.